Well, moving along. I got the cluster wired up and started wiring on the wiper switch and along with this washer pump. I'll probably finish it up tomorrow because, to be honest, I'm tired of messing with it tonight. Couple things I discovered using this American Auto Wire Highway 22 kit is one, I guess I should have looked into more of what my car used versus what they provided. I'm not using their ignition switch. I'm not using their headlight switch. Their headlight switch calls for a second feed wire for the running lights. So it has battery feed for the headlights and then another feed for the running lights that's fused. I don't know why. I guess the headlights are not fused. I guess that somewhat makes sense. I don't know. I guess you wouldn't want to fuse to blow. I guess they're on a breaker maybe. I'm not sure. But anyways, the running lights are fused, but the 68 Mustang doesn't have a feed for running light. It just has one feed that goes to this headlight switch, just one big red wire. So since I did screw up and I ran this long orange wire for dome / courtesy light, thinking that this needed to go up to the dome light that I'm probably not going to have anyways, I left a spool there because I didn't know where I would need to start the run to because I'm going to have probably LEDs under the dash for floor lighting for when you open the doors for these switches here. And I may, haven't decided, put the courtesy lights that are in the bottom of the doors. I don't know if you've seen them on some higher end vehicles, but they have it's like a little LED projector type thing that's underneath the door. And when you open the door and this switch triggers, it lights up the car logo on the ground and lights up your foot area. Thought it kind of cool. Maybe a little on the ricey side, but I'm not sure. But I haven't decided whether or not I want to do it or not. They make one that is the Mustang logo, and it looks pretty cool. I thought it might be a neat thing to put for a resto mod, but don't know how I feel about drilling into my door, and I don't know how I feel about putting those lights. I'm eventually going to have to run electrical to the doors for the windows. I'm probably going to do power windows later on, but for the time being, I'm going to leave that whole door light out of it. I'm just going to do white LEDs underneath the dash, like just pointing downward to light up floor area when the doors open. Now, because I'm probably not going to have a dome light, like I said, and I may end up having a courtesy light on the mirror up here. Don't know. So I might have a little push button LED to light up, like reading light. But anyways, on to the interesting stuff. So, yeah. That's pretty. I like. And the one thing that concerns me is that the oil sweeps and the water does not. I'm really quite concerned of whether or not that water gauge is dead or not. Hopefully it's not, because you have to modify these quite a bit to make them work. That's going to piss me off because I probably cannot send that back for warranty repair or anything like that. So we'll find out when I go to run the car, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to do a sweep. It does get that little, it does click over back to 0 and then go back up. So, and my fuel gauge does its quick little sweep up to empty, which is correct, tank's empty. Speedo, it goes to 80 like it's supposed to, and back down. And the tach has no signal fed to it right now, so it doesn't do shit. There is one thing I have to figure out, though. I don't know why this is on. I have to trace this out and see why this light is lit. I don't even remember, to be honest, what I ran these to. I remember there were two different light feeds, but I don't remember what for. I know one was going to be a shift light, and I don't remember what the other one was going to be. So I have to figure out which one is lit up and why it's lit up, because it shouldn't be getting voltage right now. I'm pretty sure I left those pinouts empty, unless I screwed up and ran one to a 12-volt ignition source. And of course, there's my bright indicator. So, that is it for here. This is my Deutsch connector for the oil and water temp. They are little 20 gauge wires, so I had to do a different Deutsch connector. This end will be this factory wire. I'm just repinning them, and the factory pins on the back of these, or that feed into this connector, quite odd. I thought they were normal, just lock in, but they're slightly different sized. So these new ones I have fit a little on the loose side inside of the connector. You can see them kind of, maybe. See how much it wiggles. Hopefully they work out. I'm just using these little cheapos I got off Amazon, made by Balmain, China Specials. If anybody has a location or a link to some good one of these, let me know. I might end up having to recrimp stuff later, because these are kind of cheapo. I tried using some high quality GM type 56 ones or whatever, because I have this kit. Well, actually, I made the kit. I ordered all the different parts. These are GT series Metro Packs. Went over before that Holly crimp on that Hyperspark ignition box under the dash was shitty. This is what they use. GT series 150 and 280, I think, or 250, whatever it is. And all these up here are the GM type 56, whatever, in all the different gauges. And these are the type that have the little, you see a little folded spring clip where the pin slips in and kind of applies a spring pressure. That's what American Auto Wire uses for all their connectors. They don't work inside of this. They're a little bit longer on the tip because of that spring, so they don't work out. Things I still have to do other than finish that wiring. I need to get that bezel for the middle where the vents go trimmed and fit. I'm waiting on some more sleeving to come in for these. These are the fuel pump triggers, Holly ignition feed, and these two green ones are the fan triggers. I have to re-sleeve those because, well, when I ran them the first time, I forgot to run the damn fan trigger wires, because I'm smart. This is what I ended up doing. These aren't trimmed. It's not going to stay like this. They're just connected so I can test stuff and see how pretty my gauges look, more or less. And I just wanted to get a rough trim fit so I could, you know, get it all connected. I ended up getting my ground stud here and my relay block mounted here. It's fuel 1, fuel 2, fan 2. Fan 1 is up here on the block. This is a spare. This ground block feeds off of this to get chassis ground. And I have my turn relay ground, which is this big one, I think. This here is, or these two actually are the relay grounds. That's the big chassis feed. This one here is the fuel pump grounds. My fuel pump connections. I'll loop around like so. These whites are my reverse and my neutral safety. That is my fan number 2. And these are turn signals and rear running lights. And these down here are the trigger wires for the relays, the ones that are booted together. The white's the spare. And then these are the other power for the fan 2 and for the spare. I'm waiting on a DTM, I believe, Deutsch connector, or DTP, one of those, I don't remember which one. Anyways, it's a 10 to 12 gauge Deutsch connector, because I don't have one that can do 12 gauge. Don't remember if I showed this, but my breaker set up for the Hollies. This is the fuse setup for that. It's just a mega fuse. distribution lug here. That's the positive feed to up front of the car. These are just Siamese or ran in series, or not series, in parallel to these two breakers. These are 200 amps, so it essentially just doubles the amperage load of this. This is to keep my starter from tripping these breakers. Run them in series or in parallel like this, so it can handle equivalently roughly 400 amps load. And then both of these are the outs going to the positives. And that is it for now. I don't think I've gotten anything else done to the car. Just been wiring like crazy, and sleeving, and heat shrinking, and dealing with spiders. Pardon me, I hate spiders. I'm gonna have to spray again. Anyways, yeah, I brought my heater control out so I can test that. I need to test the AC heater setup soon and see how that works, make sure it does work. And yeah, those wires coiled up there, the orange, like I said, is a courtesy. The other two are the radio, battery radio feed, and then speaker wires. But that's it for now. Oh, I did find out that this water temp and this water temp should be essentially the same thing. This one is the Hollies. This one is my gauges. They should both be a 5-volt source feed for the sensor, and then the other one should be the signal wire. So it does read off of a voltage signature and not a resistance. They are digital, so I believe I can get rid of this contraption. Just run a regular 90, which I brought out earlier. I do have one, and run everything off of this gauge and just daisy chain, or not daisy chain, but split off the signal wire to the Holly. The Holly can actually feed power to this and the oil pressure, which is down right here, which you probably can't see. Down right there, that silver sticker here. The Holly can feed power to both of those, ground to that, and signal will be branched to the Holly off both of them for logging, and also into the car for the gauges. My radiator's shroud is being worked on still. I talked to my fab guy today. He's got to order some more, or he's waiting on an order of aluminum come in because what he had available was scratched up, and I'm planning on leaving it plain most likely. And yeah, that's it for now, I think. Here's the 90 I was talking about. Into a swivel MPT. Yeah, all right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully next time I'll have a little more done for you. Getting closer and closer to startup time. Peace.